when the myth becomes the way. I didn't have this realization in the beginning. I was too cracked out by the Mugen, feeling limitless. Then it came to the test. It all started with a question. Can you do the exact same recipe as you can on the Mugen with the Hario V60? See, for the longest, I've been buying this gear, buying that gear, trying to see what the differences are. I would read the package on the box to see if that's really what I got from the actual coffee itself. And when I went to Hario website, I basically got most of their stuff already. And I saw the Mugen. It was different. One had this weird looking black color and then had this type of shape at the bottom. Still don't know really what it's all about. And then I didn't see any ridges inside. Yeah, it does have like a star structure, probably just the way to better make this device. So I was intrigued. Then I saw that this was a one pour specialist. I didn't really know what that meant. I've tried it a couple times with the Mr. Coffee, trying to dial it in. It's a different type of coffee. It's possible, I know it is, but this is what Hario said that this device actually did. So, after putting through its paces, trying to master that one pour setup, which, if you want to know, is going a lot finer than you're comfortable going on the regular Hario V60 recipe, using the Hario paper filters and going as slow as you can until you get to your desired ratio. It took a while to get there. I stayed in the pocket, tried to analyze the situation. I tried the recipe that Hario gave me. They wanted me to go coarser on the grind. I tried that. It really didn't work. So I went back to the lab and started thinking more. Start playing around with that coffee, seeing what it was all about. And then once I got it, I was jumping for joy. I finally got that one pour magic that Hario said that this brewer can do. And then just curiosity, I started playing around with it even more. I did a bloom and then a one pour. I did a bloom and then a 2 or 3 pour. And it started to mimic a lot the Hario V60. And then it got to the point to where I was doing a video, just minding my own business. And I told myself, I wonder if you can do this with the Hario V60. I was wondering about that, or curious about that. So I did a test. I had the Hario Mugen and the Hario V60. Try to control it as much as I could. Had the same temperature. Used the drip assist to make sure that I was doing everything correctly. Make sure that nobody got an even shot at it. 50 grams in, 50 grams out, 50 grams in, 50 grams out, no bloom. The bed looked exactly the same. So I was like, okay, wow, here we go. Interesting, right? So then I tasted the Mugen. It tasted like coffee. It was Brazilian coffee, slightly a little bit sweeter than normal coffees. Got a TDS. Because you need both. Especially if you're thinking that they're more so the same. I think I went over 1 gram more with the Hario V60, but the bed looked the same. But it came to the most important critical part about all of this, really. Yeah, the TDS would have been probably different, but it was the taste. We're always in it for the taste. We're always seeing if we can see something different, see if we can actually decipher something of like this one is better than this, or I can see the difference in this particular brewer and all that good stuff. And then when I sipped that Hario V60 coffee, it was the same. The TDS was a couple of hundreds of tenths off from each other. And I sat there. I didn't know really what to do. I didn't feel more so like a fool. It was just like, wow, damn, Hario, you did all of this? For what? And when you look at the devices more intently, you start to be a little bit more critical. You start to look at the Hario V60. It has ridges on the side, so the papers don't cling as much. They kind of just stay on the ridges, right? But the Mugen doesn't have any ridges. So then the ridges are not as pronounced on the Hario V60. So then you start to wonder, it's like, wow. So I start doing these one pour methods on everything. The Hario V60, the origami tripper. I think I even played around with it with a flatbed. It didn't matter. I had that technique. I had that recipe down. I knew how to like change and manipulate the coffee in order to bring out the best of that coffee with that technique, and that didn't matter about the device. But as I sit here and think and wonder about the trickery as I felt in the beginning with Hario, probably that myth that I mentioned in the beginning is exactly the thing that I needed. It was the way. It was the way to just stay in the pocket, to use one device, to see what it's all about, and to just play, explore, get frustrated, try this coffee, try that coffee, wondering why the extraction is so off, why it tasted like crap, very hollow. But then when you push past your comfort zone and go finer, perfect your pour, and then you taste the coffee again, and then you start to get a little bit more sweetness. And you start to wonder that, wow, by going finer, you're finding that sweetness in coffee. Again, it depends on the coffee. But I guess really what I'm saying here is that I played, I explored, I stayed with this thing. And even though I felt so betrayed by Hario, I guess the biggest picture is that it wasn't so much about the gear. It was about understanding the gear, how it played a role in this whole thing that we talk about and enjoy each and every morning, and how many times that we do throughout the day. It's coffee. It kind of gives us a sense of like, if we understand this particular gear, any gear, doesn't matter which one it is, and we stay with it as long as we can in order to understand all the gamuts and the faults and the pros and the cons to it, and we manipulate the coffee to our will, That's really where the magic is. So, yeah, I'm still kind of puzzled, still trying to wonder why this actually happened with Hario, because I love Hario. They're an awesome brand. They know what they're doing. But in this case, yeah, I felt bamboozled. These are essentially the exact same things. They do the exact same things. Same thing with the Hario Mugen switch and the Hario switch. They're essentially the same. One's glass, one's plastic. Yeah, you probably get a little variations and temperature control and all that good stuff that we like to say that we're going to actually get a difference in. It doesn't matter. The biggest thing, the biggest takeaway here is that I stayed with the device. I didn't keep switching. I just stayed with it. I isolated the situation to the point to where this was the only thing that I was using. And after a while, it gave me that sense of freedom and a badge on my honor because I can actually enjoy the damn coffee because I know how to use this device. The myth of that one pour method that it was only for this thing led me to the realization that for the most part, no matter what we use, it's just one device. We can master this device. We can love and enjoy the coffee as much as we can because nobody can tell us why this works. We've experienced it. We stay long enough with this device. That's how we know that our coffee is good. That's how we know that our coffee's crap. That's how we know that if we use this paper and that paper, or this technique, this temperature, or depending on however we may feel for that day, we can do magic with this. That's what the myth has given me. It's given me a way to just enjoy coffee with one device. To truly, really understand that device and what it does for me and my coffee. Yeah, they did trick me. I was excited. But the biggest takeaway, the biggest kicker is that we don't need anything else. We know that. We know that we don't need much of anything else. We need a brewer. We need a paper filter or two, one or two different variations. We need a kettle that's as accurate as it can be with the temperature. And we need a good coffee. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So the simplicity of whatever we're using is not the way. It's about the knowledge that we gain throughout this whole process in order to bring out the best in this particular device. So that's what I leave you with. Do I feel tricked by Hario? Oh, yeah, I do. I'm still wondering why the hell they keep making these different devices. I know they have different ones out now. A fast brewer does this or that. They got two different ones and does all that. I'm not playing that game anymore. I have enough. I really do. You probably have enough too. And as I sit here and wonder and think about all the things that I've done with Hario, with myself in particular, they don't know who the fuck I am. I'm just a person talking about coffee. It's that for the very longest, I just had the Hario V60. It was just the Hario V60 for the very longest. And one thing I didn't do with the Hario V60 that I'm doing now that I do regret that I didn't do with the Hario V60 is I took it for granted. This is $10. I've gotten my money's worth. I've gotten my money's worth. But I really didn't push myself. I didn't really try to like master and grow and understand this device. Understand those recipes and those techniques that I was doing. I'm doing it now. It took me essentially the exact same device in order to do that. So I guess really what I'm saying is that don't take your stuff for granted. Stay in the pocket. Love it. Enjoy it. See what it's all about. See if just by using this, you can make great coffee. You can. Whichever one, it doesn't matter. They're the same thing. Most of these things are the same. Let's just be real. They're more so the same. I do like the origami though. It's a lot faster, but it's essentially still the same. Let me know what you think. Do you feel bamboozled by Hario or any of these coffee companies out there telling you that their device is going to be wicked cool? You're going to be able to taste this flavor. You're going to be able to do this one pour method. Trust yourself. Be grounded in the things that you do know. Don't let anybody take you for granted. That's all I'm saying. Talk to you later. Bye.